Pagophagia is a term that means craving ice. And oftentimes, in a nutrition aspect, that is related to iron deficiency. You may have heard of someone craving dirt or clay, tape, and that is what we consider pica. So, pagophagia is a part of that, and pica is typically tied to zinc or iron. But in craving ice, that is iron. Iron is essential for the delivery of oxygen via hemoglobin. It's also essential for the thyroid function, dopamine metabolism, and cognitive function, amongst others. So, in iron deficiency, we will see signs and symptoms. A lot of times, craving ice can be a very early sign, and what that does is, even without anemia, this impairs brain oxygenation. It also will impair the dopaminergic pathways, neurotransmitter production, which is tied to reward, habits, and attention. And so when we chew the ice, it actually can stimulate the trigeminal nerve, which you have your trigeminal nerves here, and there's three parts of that. It is the biggest cranial nerve, number 5, and that can, for a little bit, stimulate alertness and can help combat just a little of the fatigue, cognitive dullness, etc. that we see from iron deficiency. So iron deficiency is not, in craving ice, is not nutritive, but it is neurological. And so what can we do? We can get our labs tested. You can go to your doctor, ask for an iron panel. You will have your labs that are like your CBC, which is your red blood cells, hemoglobin, hematocrit. And even though I have iron deficiency, have had iron deficiency anemia, my RBC, hemoglobin, and hematocrit were never low. And so you want to have a detailed iron panel, which is going to be TIBC, which is the total iron binding capacity. Typically that will be high. And you have ferritin, which is typically low, unless it is iron deficiency related to chronic disease or chronic inflammation. Your ferritin will be high. And then you have your iron stores in there, and also your iron saturation. So those will be within that iron panel. Another thing that we can look at is we can perform an NFPE, a nutrition focused physical exam. And I can look at your waterline. And if your waterline is white or very, very pale instead of fleshy pink, that's also another sign for me. Yep, iron deficiency. Pale nail beds, ridges in the nails, palms that are not fleshy and pink, but they're also white or very, very pale. And alongside with the neurological and physical symptoms of being fatigued. And also you can have a thyroid panel that is dysfunctional. So a lot of times if someone does have iron deficiency anemia, or if they just have iron deficiency or low ferritin, this can start to impair, as we know, blood oxygenation, but also thyroid function as well. So food sources, the best sources are going to be heme, which are animal sources. That's going to be dark poultry, liver, red meats. To be your plant sources, which is going to be lentils, beans, as well as tofu. And you can get some from nuts and seeds, like pumpkin seeds. In my other video, I talked about the absorption of iron. So we know that iron is increased by vitamin C. So that can be vitamin C food sources. If you have to take a supplement, that's really the last thing that I go to, depending on what your levels are and how your GI tract is. If you've got a lot of gut inflammation, I'll likely just go to a patch. And so vitamin C will help increase the iron absorption, but there are nutrients that impair iron absorption. For example, if you have a calcium-rich food with your meal, caffeine, so that could be drinking milk with your meal, drinking soda or coffee, tea that's caffeinated with your meal can impair the iron absorption. Iron is primarily absorbed in the duodenum, so that is the first part of the small intestine. So that's another thing. Also, you want good low pH that is acidic, that helps increase vitamins, certain vitamins and minerals. And so with that, I don't really recommend drinking any kind of carbonated drinks while I'm eating, as well as trying your best to just have some water before, maybe some after, few sips in between if you need to, but drinking a full glass while you're eating is going to impair nutrient absorption in general. And so those are some things that you can do. You can squeeze lemon on your foods. You can throw some strawberries on there, some tomatoes, a little cutie orange. Beet juice is really helpful at absorbing iron. So there are a lot of things that we can do, but yeah, that is a sign of iron deficiency, is craving ice.